All right, good morning. Hopefully this is gonna work okay. I've never done a YouTube and I'm just going straight to publishing this. I'm not even gonna try to mess around. So it is super early. I like to come out to my studio this early because nobody else is here. Just moved in about a month ago and then we went to Mexico. So we got white walls for a little bit. Um, I might just throw up some pictures and wallpaper during break or something. Okay, so this is the first video and it's going to be about the tools that I generally use, and especially for the first few videos, I'm going to do lots of beginner stuff. So this is going to be great for you. If you're in Tucson, this is for Tucson only. Tucson, Arizona, jewelry capital of the world. There's a couple places that you can go locally, and I always support local, I always support small. Um, I'll be listing some more of that, but for tools specifically, Kent tools are my favorite. And if you're from Tucson, you know who they are. Kent, Kent Tools. Okay, so first things first, you want to get a couple jewelry mats, and I realize all my stuff is on there and my phone's hooked up. So jewelry mats, these suckers. Go to someplace small. If you're in Tucson, go to Jay's. They've got all this stuff. And in Jay's in Tucson, if you're a wholesaler and you don't have a business license, but you're operating and you're willing to pay the taxes on a wholesale price, which is less, and it's intended for people who are going to resale. So don't abuse this. They're an awesome mom and pop place. You can get them for super cheap. So I have a gaggle of them. And then, especially if you're doing tiny beads and stuff like I do, it's good to have them around. Every single person I know has seen me drop a bead and be like, oh, beep, oh, beep. And I just, it's cursey town. All right, so first thing, we're going to do a needle nose plier. Now, there's going to be pictures of all this stuff. Let me see. There's going to be pictures of all this stuff on the group, which I'm excited to announce, and I'll put more information about that below. But I'm going to have a private Facebook group for this learning stuff with extra tools and, you know, sheets and stuff to help you remember the steps that we learned. But this is a needle nose plier. You want to make sure it has a little bounce and that these edges here are not all jagged and wacky jacky, because for me and my style, I like everything pretty smooth and clean. So if that's what you like, you need to make sure that you keep your tools pretty nice, pretty protected, because those marks will definitely mar your wire as you go. Next one is a bent nose. This is good for getting in nooks and crannies. Again, I work tiny, so that's really largely informing my tools. But this can be taken up to, I think the thickest I've ever used on this would be an 18 inch, but 18 gauge. But anything less than that, 20, 22, 24, 26, all that, this is great for that. And this guy is beat to all heck. But look, I tried to censor myself. This is just an acrylic tip. I use it to straighten kinks out if I can't press it a couple times. In the beginning, this is how you should straighten your wire. This or your fingertips. If you like a clean wire in your wrap, that's what you do. You gotta really protect that wire because you're handling it so much before it's done, it's gonna get crazy. I can now do it with this, but I've been doing it for 7 years and I can see exactly the little bend and I can gently press it without touching these edges to mark up my wire. So my suggestion is that you're doing this first and you like that style, and that's why you're learning from me, because you like that kind of clean style that I do. This is what you're going to use to straighten it. I'm going to put links to my Facebook page and my Instagram, and you guys can check stuff out there. Right now I'm focusing a lot on necklaces, so all my work is on my tailor's line. Then we have this guy, flush cutters. I like them nice and sharp and quick. They'll cost you a little bit more. I mean, there are some that are like 60 bucks, but I get mine at the gem show from Come On, and I work there every year. I'm sure some of you might even recognize me from there if you go to the Tucson Gem Show. The curly head girl that's bouncing around. Okay, so flush cutters was last. These, my mentor, my jewelry mentor, Jennifer Wilson, she found these, and she found these at Kent Tools. I love these because I do teeny tiny, and sometimes I want it really clean and precise, and I gotta get that little 26 gauge wire into this teeny tiny spot, but I can't smush my wire to bits, and I want it to look nice and clean, so I don't want it to be all marred. This tool is amazing. So basically, it's just like a graduated tip at the end, but it's still a needle nose plier for all the purposes. This guy, the round nose plier. I learned with these tools. So that's where a lot of my preference is. And I did a lot of piecework, so I needed to replicate multiple sizes on things. So this really worked for that as well. Now, my preference, I like these because it's far enough away. I like this nose. But I don't always see round nose wires that are graduated this long. Usually they're about that big. And for the work that I do, you'll hardly ever need anything down there. So this is fine. The smaller ones are fine. I'm a perfectionist and I got caught up on details like that. And then I realized after, 6 years, 7 years, 8 years, I don't need to worry about that. I work really tiny. So this is the last tool. Dun, dun, dun. My nemesis, the crimper. Okay, I got a little one because I hate them. But there are amazing crimpers out there that you can get that can be much more precise. Stringing is difficult for me. Not because it's difficult. No, actually, it's kind of less difficult than wire wrapping. But my perfectionism eats away at my productivity with this particular thing because of this crimping tool. Ah! But I always have one on hand because you just never know when you're going to need to do something. Like I had to restring this. I needed it. And look, see, it falls all pretty. So, 3 more things. 3, 4. The hammer. I love my hammer because I can make anything I want to because of this hammer. It's all about the molecules, baby. So, for this hammer, I think I got this one with a 60 or 40, 60% coupon, whatever you get at Michael's. I found that Michael's has a better selection of tools. Joann has stuff. Joann has lots of also organizing equipment. And I never shop there without my coupon because I try never to go big box or retail. But sometimes a $10 fancy pants heavy hammer, you're going to do it. And this guy, a mandrel. So this one was the one that Jennifer, my mentor, gave me. I freaking love her. And so this one, it means a lot to me. Like literally, I feel like it's a magical wand and it holds all my magic inside of it. But they come in metal and they come in wood. They come in plastic and they can have different profiles on the end here. So I like the wood one because I work with these wires and I don't want them to have scratch marks or rub marks. And I like the way the wood gives and this feels good to me. But sometimes I have a design. I've actually have a couple designs that I do that are really, really thick wire. And that I need the metal because I need to be able to smack it down and make it submit. And the pounding block. All right, so they come pretty in silver. But when your 2-year-old finds your straight to black, yep, that's what you have when you have teeny tiny creative professionals that are unsupervised with the bottles of chemicals at child's length. So I love this thing. It's super heavy. It always makes traveling as a jeweler 10 pounds heavier. But this is essential for this guy. And this guy is essential, I think, for expanded creativity without heat. So I'm not soldering anything. I want to, but I'm not doing that because I can't travel with that. Then the last thing you need is a ruler. This is a 15-inch ruler that has been around, I don't even remember. Maybe it was my mother's. I don't know. It's just some plastic. But the reason I like it is because it has this tip, this flat part, see? And I just stick that underneath my mat, and I have this little teeny tiny ruler. I'm going to show you, but bear with me. Boom. So there you go. All right, so those are the tools you're going to need. Now, I suggest you go on Pinterest if you're trying to find your style and just investigate what you love, get a whole bunch of pictures of what you love, and then go to a bookstore and find an artist that looks a lot like those pictures. Because it's kind of how I found my style. And I'll share more about who I learned from and all that stuff. But this has been long enough. Go ahead and go get your stuff. Hopefully I'll post, like, we'll do a quick, simple, like, make an earring finding or make a quick earring later today when I set up at Julie's house. But here I am at my studio. Thank you for joining me. In the link below, not immediately, but today I'm going to post it all. I'll post the link to the Facebook group so you can request to join that, and that'll have pictures and with words and things that you can use when you're online or you're looking at the store to see what you can find. And there'll also be access to me. I will look at that stuff regularly and make sure if there's questions, I'll help you out. And then you'll see stuff about my Facebook and my Instagram and all that self-promotion stuff these solopreneurs gotta do. I ain't hating the game, y'all. I ain't hating the game. So have a great day. Make something new. Do something that scares you and excites you. And we'll see you soon. Ciao, bellas.